Alright, welcome back champions to HTML5 and CSS3 for beginners, part number 11 of the class. Today's class is going to be JavaScript. We have just learned JavaScript validation. We are going to continue with the validation and see some advanced techniques and more good, better techniques with JavaScript, right? We can do many things, and before that we'll do the test. What we are doing here is enter is also working. First name and last name is required, right? And email address is required. Now see here the problem is, right? Contact number cannot be integer, right? Contact number is given as integer. That means this is basically a problem in validation. Email address is not what it should be. Now, does it resemble as that of email address? No, it does not resemble. So that means we have not been able to do proper validation with this kind of a form in here. What are we going to do is do some different techniques and apply some regular expressions so that now each and everything the user enters is validated before taking it to the database or anywhere, or before taking it to the server. Validation is a very, it's a core process, backbone process of software development, right? Not only here in web development or web designing, it is the core process. Validation and verification is that makes professional softwares do very well, right? All right, and now what we are going to do today is have a look at what we have been doing. That this is this, and we are going to change certain things. And the first thing that we are going to do is the following. Now we know that this HTML page, the entire HTML page in here, is not for scripting and programming. The main duty of the HTML page is UI, which is user interface design. But yeah, there is a luxury of integrating JavaScript code inside the HTML page, right, which can be done not professionally, right? What I will do right here, I will make a separate file just like I made it here. We have linked a CSS file and we have a separate CSS file. Now I will link the same JavaScript file. For that I'll click File, New, and I'll go with the type of file JavaScript. I'll say save the file, and for that I will make a folder. Inside the root folder I'll make a folder JS, which stands for JavaScript, and I will save this file as validation.js. Now I have saved it as validation.js. Now what I will do, I will delete without script tags. No, script tag is just for HTML page, right? Because you have to tell your HTML page which section is what. Alright, now this script tag is required only to tell your JavaScript that the piece of code that I'm writing here within script starting tag and the script ending tag is not an HTML code. Take it as JavaScript. For example, if I create this function ABC, alright, so now this is a function AC is going to work as a function, right? Now you can clearly see it is not printed, but the moment I take the tags away, this is going to be taken as plain text. Now you can see, right, it is printed somewhere. You can see it here, it's printed here, and this is being taken as plain text. Right, so that is why we use JavaScript tags. So now, because now the file itself has a JS extension, we don't require tags here. I will just copy the entire validate function in this validation.js and go to the head section and say, just like we did it with styles.css, we are going to do same with this. I will say, hey, wait a second, what are you going to do? I'll say script, your type is, right, text / JavaScript, and this is what your type is. And where are you? You are inside a JS folder, right, and your name is validation.js, right? And please don't try to self-close. If you try and self-close this tag, it's not going to work, right? So it's not a self-closing tag. For example, if I go ahead, now you can see you're getting an error here because everything is taken as JavaScript. Every single thing that is following here is taken as JavaScript. Why? Because JavaScript, whether used inside or outside the page or included, is not going to be a self-closing tag. It is going to be a separate closing tag. Right, now you can see now it's printed, right? Now if you self close it, it is going to wait for the separate closing tag, which means anything that comes underneath the tag will be taken as JavaScript. It will not be executed. If you go to page source, you can see everything is turned black, right? Why? Because you have started JavaScript here and you have not ended it. Alright, so that's why, whether using in page or including the file, it has to be a separate closing tag, right? And now once you have included it, it's your duty to go to view page source and click the validation.js and see whether that's included or not. At times the file is not included and we go on checking errors and we end up doing nothing at all. Why? Because we have typed maybe misspelled validation.js or maybe misspelled the folder name. So it's better to test first, right? And now when the test is done, you will see that your software is working as it should work, and without even having the JavaScript being downloaded to the browser. You can clearly see right here there is no scripting code, only UI code inside HTML. What we have done, we have included a library here which is the validation.js and CSS, right? And now we can go inside validation. As I said, that this is not sufficient, right? You should basically validate what you are entering, right? You should be able to see what you are getting, basically, right? And you should not take invalid data. For example, contact number is not for him, right? By no means, right? Why are you taking it? Email is not this, right? Why are you taking it, right? So there are many errors. Now you can see it has taken email and it has taken contact number. Now it has finally moved to username. So this is where the problem lies. So we are going to complete the validation process today, and we'll not be using jQuery. So we'll be using jQuery, which is the latest JavaScript way of doing things, including a jQuery library, and using that library for styling, animation, designing, validations, etc. Alright, so today we'll be using the same JavaScript, and I'll say now, hey, wait a second. I say if you are empty, that means if you are empty, then return the code and display first name is required message. But empty is not going to be sufficient. We have to validate what you are entering. Now what if I enter my first name as F? So now does that mean F is my first name? It's taken. K, it's taken, right? K, email is taken, contact is taken. Now is this the valid data? It's completely invalid data, right? And so we have to look for these different things right here, okay? And for that, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I will say, for example, I will say if fname dot value, right? If it matches a certain pattern, I'm going to draw a pattern. I'm going to use regular expressions and use pattern inside those regular expressions to draw a pattern, right? Okay, and for that we are going to start like this, right? So I will use not is equivalent to tag right here. I will use dot match. So the tag used is dot match. I will say match is basically a function that takes a pattern, right? So match takes a pattern. So the pattern is going to be just like this, another braces inside, and the pattern starts with slash not, right? And this is how the pattern starts, and the pattern ends with a dollar sign, and I will go ahead at the end. I'll say it is case insensitive. Slash I means case insensitive. If you want to take case sensitive as well, you can take it. So I can say I want to accept only capital A to Z. Let me close if here. So I am going to accept only capital A to, where did I keep it? Okay, my mistake. Okay, so just a moment. So I am going to accept, okay, inside square braces and curly braces, right? Okay, so let me see this. Yeah, it is right, and then you go ahead, alright, and say this. Okay, now fine, now the pattern is right. Okay, we have been able to successfully draw the pattern. Now we have to draw two different things. One is conditional formatting, which is going to be the equivalence class partition and boundary value analysis. Now I'll say I'm going to accept only capital A to Z, right? And I'm going to accept small a to Z, right, without any spaces, and minimum and maximum characters, minimum 3, name should be minimum 3 and maximum 20 characters, right, and it should be case insensitive, right. And this is where I use this match, and let me try. Now if the value matches this, then return false. No, if it does not match, so that's why I'll have to use not. If the value entered by first name does not match this pattern, then you are going to return false. Display the message and put focus on that same element. Now I'll go refresh and I will say first name is required. I'll say Fahim. Now you can say last name is required. Now in case I do not accept small a to z, I accept only capital A to z, then I will say, if I write Fahim now, you can say last name is required, right? No, I am accepting only capital A to Z. If it does not match, just a moment. So I'll do an opposite of it. So let me see what are we getting. Last name is required. Okay, if it matches, I should get first name is required. Now we are getting first name is required. If I type something that is not accepted, so we're getting first name is required, right? And if I type A, we're still getting first name is required. A, first name is required. M, name is accepted. Why? Because minimum 3 and maximum 20. Now I'll say I have to accept small a to z, capital A to z, and I'm also accepting small a to z, right? So I'm accepting minimum 3, maximum 20 characters, long string, and I'm accepting characters which are capital and which are small. Now space is not given there. Space is not an option. For example, if I type Fahim, Khan, why would you type Fahim Khan? Now you can say first name is required. Or I'll change the message. Please enter a valid. Please enter a valid first name. So now you can see we'll get this message. Please enter a valid first name. I'll say Fahim, Khan. Now why would you enter first name plus last name? Right? Space is not accepted. Yeah, in case if you want to accept spaces as well, maybe you are having write your full name, right? So in that case you have to accept space, and in that case I'll just go and give a bit of space. Now spaces here means spaces are also accepted. Now you can see you are also accepting spaces. Right, now you can say last name is required. Space is accepted, but in our case we are not going to accept space, right, because I want my first name to be plain. Now we go to last name. If I give space, I get an error. Please enter a valid first name. So that is why I don't accept spaces. First name, last name is absolutely fine. So I'll do the same right here with last name. Okay, I will say please enter a valid last name. Please enter a valid first name. And same pattern that we are using. Integers are not expected. I'm not going to take integers, not at all. Alright. For example, if you supply integers 999, so I'm not going to accept. Please enter a valid first name. If you enter Fahim Khan, so I'm not accepting. Please enter a valid first name. Now you can clearly see I'll have to change it to L name first. Okay, so after changing the L name value, now if I supply first name, I get please enter a valid last name. So I'll say L name dot focus. Alright, so I'll use the same here. Okay, now please enter a valid. Okay, I have done something wrong. Please enter a valid first name. So it's here last name dot focus. Okay, first name dot focus, last name dot focus. Fine. If it does not match this pattern, you are getting focus, shifting focus to first name and displaying the message. Shifting focus to last name and displaying the message if I'll name does not match the pattern. Right? Alright, so let me try it from the beginning. Please enter a valid first name. So I've entered. Please enter a valid last name. Please enter a valid last name. Space is not accepted. Delete the space. Alright, please enter. Email address is required. Now this is a fun here. Now how do you make sure that a valid email address is entered, right? For example, even if I use the same match here for email, if I use the same match tag for email, what time is it? Okay, we have ample amount of time. So now if we use not with email right here, right, so what are you going to get, right? You tell me, what are you going to get in that case, right? Because you are testing for A to Z, that's absolutely fine. You can say, hey, I want to add 0 to 9 as well, right? Okay, that is also fine. And I'll say 0 to 30, that's also fine. But is it the pattern that we are going to follow? And this is the pattern, is it the pattern that we should go and follow? Right, so we should remember this thing, always, always, and always, that we are going to, or we are expecting a certain pattern, right? Isn't it? So email has a certain pattern, right? And for that we have to draw many different things, right? And foremost thing is going to be, let me show you. If I go and say refresh, here, you mind if you enter first name and now enter last name? Okay, email, I can say, okay, 9977 is also email is accepted, because you are accepting numbers, you are accepting capital, you are accepting small, you are accepting now numbers as well. Is it email? No, it is not the complete email that is required. I want to draw a pattern here. Now see the pattern that we use here, and keep your eyes wide open. And for email, what we are going to do for email is the following. Okay, now see this. I will say, hey, first of all, I want to accept in email, I want to accept capital A to Z, small a to Z. I want to accept dot. Maybe I also want to accept underscore. I want to accept, let's say about plus. I want to accept minus, right? Just give me a second. I'm getting a call. They never have proper timings to call. Now I say, now we are going to accept dot also, I'm going to accept underscore also, right? And whatever you want to accept, maybe you want to accept @ also, right? So all the special characters. But I say, wait a second, that's not the only thing, that's not the only pattern that I want. I will add on to my pattern that after the first character is complete, and now the second one should have the following, right? The second one should have the following. So that's why I will use plus here. I said I am continuing now, right? Plus, and you see, whatever first you write, go and check for @. If you find @ and after @ you also accept the same characters, right? You accept capital A to Z, you accept small a to Z, and you accept 0 to 9 as well, accept dot, accept underscore, right? Is that the only thing? No, I will say now one more thing, plus. If there is a space now at the end, right, at the end, you got to check after the sentence is complete. After the first is complete, you check in between, you have @, and after @ you check for dot, whether it is available or not. What is the dot you are going to accept? In dot, I am going to accept small a to Z, capital A to Z, and I'm not going to accept spaces anywhere, and 0 to 9 I'm going to accept, right? And I can say dot, underscore, that's whatever special characters you have to accept, and minimum 3, and here I'm going to say minimum 6, right, and maximum 30, or maximum I'll say 40 characters are accepted. Now what we are doing here, now you can see, once you have typed anything, go and find @ after the first sentence is complete. If there is @, if there is not, it does not match. If there is, and after @ it should match this, and if there is @, and after that if there is dot should match. There should be dot, there should be @, before @ there should be this, after @ there should be these characters, right? Before the dot there should be these characters, and after dot there should be these characters. Minimum 6 and maximum 60. Now this is your match for email ID. Now let me see whether this works or not. Now let me go ahead. Okay, please enter a valid first name, entered. Please enter a valid last name, entered. Please enter a valid email ID. So I will say Fahim. Email address required. So let me change it. Enter a valid email address. Enter a valid email address. Now I'll go once again, choose this. Now I'll say enter a valid email address. I enter something not working. So I enter Fahim, it's still not working. I'll say Fahim @ still not working. I will say Gmail, still not working. I will say .net, now it is still not working. I've done something wrong, so maybe we've drawn a wrong pattern. Fahim @ gmail.net should work. Okay, let me see what went wrong here. I'll go back to my regular expression. I will say that I'm using these expressions right here for my email. I'm using underscore, I may use dash, so that's not a problem. And after that I use @ and where I use this dot, I use underscore, I may use dash as well. And then after that I use plus dot. Slash is important to just bifurcate this dot. And I use capital A to Z, small a to Z. I can use dash as well here. And I use this, and I'm passing case insensitive. There should not be any problem. Okay, let me try it again. Please enter a valid. Have I changed email.value.match? Alright, so if email.value, so I'll say .match. So let me try once again. Why are we getting it wrong? Alright, so I will say A to Z. Alright, so I am using dot underscore dash. I can accept anything. I can accept, let's say about plus can be accepted here. Alright, and whatever you want to accept, so that's not a problem. Alright, so I can accept plus here, but yeah, since I'm accepting only these characters, underscore, dash and dot I'm accepting. After that I check for @ and then I check for this dot and small a to Z, capital A to Z, and I'm accepting 0 to 9, right, and I'm accepting underscore and dash right here, and case insensitive. I don't know what is problem here. I may have to draw it again, so let me see, maybe I'll have to delete it. Please enter a valid email address for him. Maybe I'm using dot here, so fahim.khn@gmail.com is still not working for me. Okay, I opened something that I should not. Something is wrong. It should not, I don't know. Email.value.match. So let me just copy this dot match again. We have done something wrong. Okay, we'll do it again, don't worry. Alright, so now I say after the first character that's been tested, right? What you do, go to the second one, and then in the second one, what you got to do is right, you check @ and if you find @ after that small a to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9 is what is accepted. Here also I will accept small a to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9. So I'll accept simple characters right here. Right, and I will say after that I want to accept dot, and slash is basically skipping the special meaning of this dot, is taken as plain string. I will say I'm going to accept small a to Z here, and the minimum 30, maximum, the minimum 3, maximum 30. Alright, so why doesn't it work? It should work now. Fahim Khan @ enter a valid email. Okay, please enter a valid email address. I'm still getting to enter. I'm still being asked to enter a valid email ID. I don't understand it. Right? Why am I asked to enter? Maybe I'll just delete history. Alright, so I'll do it again. Still getting the same error. Let me see and come back. Okay, let me take a look at what we are accepting here. We had missed, there was an underscore here. Alright, so now we are accepting these characters, and here also we will accept dot, underscore, maybe dot, underscore, dash, whatever you have to accept. Now we are accepting first, and then after at the rate we are accepting 0 to 9, capital A to Z, or small a to Z, and then after dot there should be these characters, minimum 2, and it should be last minimum 2 to 30. Now what an error is, we're using 2 to 30, and now this 2 to 30 is not applied for all. Now see this, if I say Fahim, then I'll say last name, and I go to email, it works absolutely fine, right? If I say Fahim, and now if I say some wrong email ID, Fahim, so it is email ID is not right, so I'll say .com is not right, I'll say @ still not right, I'll say Gmail still not right, I'll say .com. Now you can say it's accepted. After dot it can be anything, .com, .net, whatever you say it is. Now this is validating a proper email ID. I repeat, it's the same process. Enter, right? The expression starts with /not and ends with $, case insensitive being supplied. I'll just keep it here so that you basically are able to see the full line here. And then after @, and then there should be a dot, and there should be some characters after the dot, which are 2 to 30 maximum, and its case insensitive. Now this email is done. I will go to .match, right? Now see what we do with contact here is the following. So I'll say I don't want to take capital A to Z, small a to Z. I want to take only 0 to 9, and minimum we should have minimum 10 characters, right, and maximum 10 characters. Now this is where we are taking the contact number, because it's the mobile number, right? If it's a contact number you can take 6. Okay, now let me see. Enter first name, enter last name, please enter contact, please enter a valid contact number. Fine, so now let me refresh it, and now I'll say Khan, and I will use email ID, which is going to be this, and we have an error. What happened? Message contact dot match is going to show us this error right here, which is something not understood by me. Alright, so let me see what is an error here. Yeah, enter the first name, enter the last name. Now contact has an error right here. If contact dot match, okay, let me copy this entire thing. Alright, so now I'll see. I'm using contact dot match, it's absolutely wrong. If contact dot value dash match, okay. Now we have to see if it does not match, not match, my mistake. If it does not match, only acceptable is 0 to 9, maximum 10 and minimum 10 characters accepted. Alright, so let me try Fahim, and then the last name, and now the email. Now please enter valid contact. So if I enter, contact is not valid. Now this is the valid contact number. Even if it has one character, it's not going to take, because we are accepting only we can say integer characters, right? So we are using numeric characters only, right? And that to minimum 10 and maximum 10. Now we have username is required. Username and rest can have the same pattern right here. Is that clear? Alright, so the username can have the same pattern. Password, we can take all the patterns for password. We don't mind. So I will say if uname dot value dot match the same pattern. Alright, so I will say please enter a valid username. Alright, so password is required, so we're not going to do any match with password, right? And every single thing is now absolutely fine. Now we'll be taking a valid data. For password validation, we already have that a new password should match the confirmed password. Let's try from there. Please enter first name. If I enter characters, not accepted. If I enter spaces, not accepted. Now Khan, same, space not accepted, characters not accepted. Email ID, not accepted, not accepted, not accepted, not accepted. Now .com, accepted. Characters not accepted in contact, not accepted. Full contact number accepted. Username, no special characters accepted, accepted. Password, confirm password, not accepted. Password and confirm password do not match. So now I'll match them and we are redirected back. And second thing that you can do, you can play along with different techniques right here. I don't know whether that technique is going to work here, but yeah, still I'm going to put my heart out here to just show you. Before I add the focus, I will say, hey, this f name is the document.get element by id of txt f name. You mind if you add, we can say dot. I don't have dot, so it takes style. Now what does it take? Style, I don't know. Alright, so I will say style background as red. Right, okay, now see. No, style is not working here. Maybe style equals background. Maybe style equals background red will work. I don't know, but I'll have to try. Yeah, now you can see that along with the focus, you're adding the background here, that this is required here. Alright, that you can do, right? Alright, you can do this alongside if you want to do. Right, you want to show that as well, and you can say background red, or you can say border 1 pixels solid and red. You can add the style right here dynamically. Now you can say you have a red border. Okay, let me go to first style.css and let me say that all the elements, right, which are txt raised to elements, they do not have outline. So I'll say outline none. I don't want any outline. Because of the outline, when I click here, it gets outline and the color is not resembled. Now you can see the color is evident here. Now I enter. Now it should go. It should try and go again, right? And now let me show you how to achieve it. We have some nice ways of achieving it, but yeah, just for you, because I require you to get the context right, to get familiar with JavaScript, right? Now you can see if it is, then you are going to make it red, right? And if it is also about let's say about a last name, so you are going to add f name right border back to your normal border. Now which is the border? FC9, right? So I'll go ahead, I'll say instead of red you go back to FC9, and but do one thing, make the border of L name as or red. Alright, so this is what you are going to follow everywhere now in the validation file. So I'll say, hey, please enter a valid first name. I entered. Now it goes, to back to the original position, and last name is now hovered. So I'll say last name Now we also have to get rid of this. I will go, before I add the focus, I will go to email, and both are going to have the same. F name and L name are going to have same. The only matter of the fact is email is the only thing that is going to have red. And let me move back to contact now. Before I add the focus, all are going to be normal. It is the only one, contact, which is going to be right. Okay, so it is going to be contact, which is going to be as that of red color, right? So it is working absolutely fine. Now if I go to username, before the focus, every single thing is going to be restored back to the previous state, except from the uname, which is going to be red. Copy all, go to password, right, and this is the password. Every single thing is going to be hash FC9, and it is the only password which is going to be of the style p word is going to have red. Right, so do this similarly to all. I know that this is not the proper way we are following, but yeah, you do as I tell you to do, or as I ask you to do, because it's going to increase your coding skills, and this will make you familiar with the JavaScript. First we'll do things in a wrong way, and then we'll correct them in a right way. So I'll say C password dot style is now going to be red. Now the style is going to be red, right? And if they do not match, I repeat, if they do not match, you are going to show the label, right? But what you got to do is turn every single thing to red. If they do not match, P word is going to be red, and C password is also going to be red. So let's start from the beginning. Okay, please enter the first name, it's red. Now please enter the last name. Right, now it goes to another email. Email is entered, please enter a valid contact. Contact is entered, please enter a valid username. Username PASS is entered, please enter confirm password. Now confirm password and my password do not match, both are now red. I'll say password and pass, then I'm redirected back to the page. Right, is that clear? You can do anything you want to do, right? You can turn the tables upside down. Turning tables upside down is not required, I suppose, right here. But yeah, you can do anything that you want to do, right? To validate and to grab users' attention. This grabs the attention that, hey, I have not written the first name. Hey, I have not written the last name. Alright, and you'll have to guide it through, and you'll have to make sure that you're taking valid data. Valid data means if user is giving first name, why would you take space in the first name? I don't want to take space in first name. Alright, I want to take only space after something. Right? I don't want this. Alright, and I'll say I want no space in the last name as well. If someone gives space, I don't want to take it. Alright, and now I'll go to email, and if I write everything right, email has to have @ and after dot there has to be few characters. There has to be a contact number, and contact number has to be minimum and maximum 10. Username has to be there, right? Password and confirm password has to match. If they do not match, both are red, because you don't know, they do not match. I'm just telling him that password and confirm passwords, they are not matching with each other. Now password is required, you can get confirm password is also required. So in that way you can handle it more properly, right? And our main motto is to take user registrations, right? And let me see now the box model. Yeah, it's going to work almost with all the desktop resolutions. Tablet is also there, right? You can see that tablet resolution is also going to support this kind of a design. Alright, so we haven't made it responsive. Responsive will be followed once we are done with JavaScript, and in next lecture I'll just convert whatever JavaScript we have written here. I'm going to convert it to jQuery, and we are going to stick even in the next lecture with client-side scripting using JavaScript. And what I want from you is to practice very hard and let me know if I can help you down in the comment section, and do complete your work and be in sync with me. I wish you all the best for the next class. Until then, bye bye, take care, complete your assignment, right? And I'll upload this assignment first. Let me upload it before it's too late. Alright, so I have done all the changes with this index.html. Fine. Alright, so it's uploaded. And I also have to upload a new folder today, which is the JavaScript folder, isn't it? Right, so I've uploaded a JavaScript folder as well, and let me go online and see how it works, or if it works or not. What happens? We're not getting the font. Maybe, who knows? Yeah, we got the font now. Now every single thing is fine. Yeah, now you can see style.css is not uploaded. Why? Because styles, we changed that outline, right? Outline to none. We changed that in style.css. So I'm going to upload styles as well, if you don't mind. Alright, so I'll upload styles as well. Now you will see a different thing. Alright. Now the site is live. I'll go to website and see the difference. Okay, so outline is still coming. Maybe upload is not completed. Okay, now the upload is completed. My God, I'm having just tongue twisters these days. I don't know. Now if I go, please enter valid first name. Now I'll have to just delete the history. Right. Alt Shift and this will delete the history for you. Now then, everything is deleted. I go back. Now you can see there's no outline. It's clear red. Please enter a first name. I enter my first name. Please enter the last name. Right, and every single thing is fine. So now it's working absolutely fine. And iitshrinagar.com/html5 class is the URL. Find the URL and do complete your work, and let me know if I can help you down in the comment section, and be in sync with me. Bye bye, take care.